Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of another bonus of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Original Series rewatch, recap, and discussion podcast, where every week myself, Adam Ordal Quinnell, and my co-host, my good buddy,
hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Al Hirt.
Mr. Al Hirt, and I get together to usually discuss an episode of Star Trek The Original Series. And we have had a lot of fun, haven't we?
We've had a lot of episodes here.
It's been a lot of fun. This is episode 60-something, I think, of Trek in the Valley. And don't worry, we're not going to sell out and make it profitable all of a sudden, I promise, unless there's literally any opportunity to do that, and I will. But yeah, thanks for listening and welcome back. Or if this is the first episode you're listening to, that would be weird because
this is a very
how did you find it? Like
pop-out episode.
You like follow a Star Trek Facebook group where I posted the episode and said it's about Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, and that's like your favorite one.
That's probably it.
And so now you're here. Yeah,
hello.
I bet that's it. Sorry, I just had to turn myself down.
One.
I was topping out. Topping out. Yeah, Star Trek 6. So that's where we're here.
Yes.
We are right now in this nebulous Trek in the Valley area where we're doing bonus episodes before we kick into season 3 in a few weeks. What? And what we did between seasons 1 and season 2 is we watched the first 4 Star Trek films. Mm-hmm. And good and bad. I mean, they're all pretty good. Yeah. The one is kind of a little bit, and Search for Spock had some.
But 5.
Search for Spock was good. But between season 1 and 2, we did the first 4. And now, between season 2 and 3, we've done Star Trek 5
and 6.
Which we will discuss in a moment, how bad it is and how Alan Asherman has led us astray by saying it's good. You're going to have to. And then after that, we're going to discuss Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. It was directed by Nicholas Meyer, who's the person who directed Wrath of Khan. So it really felt like they were getting back to what
made it work.
Back to the good, you know?
The flow of the Star Trek here.
But one thing that you brought up when you came over tonight to watch 6 and record is we have this compendium that Al got at a thrift store that was published in 1989 by this guy, Alan Asherman. And it's basically like a episode by episode walkthrough, a little behind the scenes, a little bit of every episode of the original series. And it covers the first 5 movies. And if you listened to last week's episode, you know that we really hated Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier. And I'm very glad that wasn't the last Star Trek movie with that cast. Oh, my God,
that would have sucked.
What a huge bummer that would have been.
No.
And so we've got, in this compendium, they also cover the first 5 movies. What did Mr. Alan Asherman have to say about Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier?
I guess the way he described it was, with the main point being about Kirk being risky because he knows he'll always have someone will always have his back. He went off on that cheesy tangent of saying in the 1940s film version, The Thief of Baghdad, a young thief is threatened by the huge genie as he thoughtlessly is released from a bottle.
Oh, wank.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and this is still from the book again. As the genie prepares to squash the thief underfoot, the young man expresses his doubt that the genie will ever get back inside that small bottle again. And then he goes, "What, you dare doubt?" The genie roars. "If I'm going to die in a moment," the thief answers, "I can dare anything." So it's just he goes off on this whole tangent of saying,
that's the god.
Oh, it's so amazing of him to just be tap dancing and daring in between, comedy and being serious and action and this and everybody. It was him pretty much describing what we would describe this 6th film as. That everybody, it's a nice ensemble, and that, what is it? He says it ultimately succeeds because the creators were able to instill even the production's most dramatic moments with the quality of tap dancing between remaining true to the Star Trek universe. which we said the complete opposite.
Yeah, it sucks shit.
We were like, said, this is too magic.
This throws this.
We don't know what's happening.
This shits in the face of all of Star Trek before it.
Oh, and then the whole Spock, you died, but you came back to life because you're better than my brother.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, his brother Sam, right?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, it just really took us back though that Alan Ashterman sold out like that.
Yeah, I hated it.
The end.
Yeah. But that brings us to a segue into the episode that we're talking about today, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country.
Such a weird title, but I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a reference to, I think they said...
the future.
Yeah, and Herman, it's like a Herman Melville or Shakespeare or some bullshit. Mm-hmm. So one thing that I noticed right away with this movie is the opening credits really dropped some huge names. Like the opening credits, it's like fucking all the regular cast, obviously, but then Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City and all that shit, and Big Trouble in Little China, and then Mark Leonard. So you're like, Sarek's gonna be in the shit, yeah, Sarek. And then, of course, we see Grace Lee Whitney, who played Yeoman Rand, is in this movie.
Rand, that's right.
And then Kurtwood Smith, the dad from that 70s show, plays a very racially bad-looking fucking
He's just got a big head,
president. Yeah,
bunch of hair.
Fu Manchu mustache and stuff. I'm not into it. And then Christopher Plummer plays Chang. And Christopher Plummer is probably the biggest star in the movie, I would say.
He steals a lot of scenes, too.
Yeah,
he does a really good job.
He was in Beginners as one of the beginners. I see. And, let's see here. Yeah, he's in all kinds of shit. Christopher Plummer rules.
He does villains a lot.
He does. I'm surprised somebody's probably going to correct me, but did he ever do a Star Wars? I don't think he ever did anything with Star Wars.
I don't think so.
All right. Yes. So what a great cast is the first thing. And then it opens with a planet exploding and a shockwave going out. And Sulu, Captain Sulu, Lottie fucking Da.
What?
He's like sipping tea on the bridge of the Excelsior when they get hit by the shockwave from this explosion.
And he's like, we just finished studying for 3 years about gas anomalies.
Yep.
We're about to park.
We're going to go hang out and chill. And then they find out that it's a Klingon mining planet that fucking exploded. Yeah. And they get a distress call from the mining planet. And then there's this guy that's like, oh my God, I'm exploding. And then like another guy cuts in, like a politician cuts in and he's like, everything is fine. We have it under control. And Sulu's looking on a monitor of an exploded planet. He's just like, Jesus, that's Praxis?
And he's like, yes, there is absolutely nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and that motherfucker comes back later, too, and is a piece of shit. So here's what we find out. We find out that the Klingon race, because this planet exploded and the pollution from the explosion is destroying the ozone layer on Kronos, the Klingons have 50 Earth years to survive.
Until they're extinct.
Until their planet is uninhabitable. And so the Enterprise crew is, first off, there's a funny moment where the lady who played Yeoman Rand, Grace Lee Whitley, is like, says to Sulu, are we going to report this to Starfleet? And he's like, are you kidding me?
Right.
No shit. The Klingons, a planet fucking exploded. And so then there's like this meeting of the Enterprise and the top brass at the Enterprise crew and the top brass of the Federation. Mm-hmm. And Spock comes in and he's like, the Klingons have 50 years.
This is an opportunity for us,
For peace.
And
that's how he breaks it to them. Mm-hmm. They're like, he goes, the Enterprise is going to go talk to Chancellor Gorkon, the leader of the fucking Klingons. And Kirk goes, what are we going to talk to them about? Or somebody goes, what are we going to talk to them about? And he goes, the dismantling of all of our space stations and shit on the neutral zone and peace with the Klingons because we're going to evacuate Kronos and bring them into the Federation. And there's a few council members who are like, this is crazy. I don't trust the Klingons. And Kirk is like, I don't trust the Klingons. And there's great tension between Kirk and Spock because Spock recommended them for this.
Yeah, he calls Kirk out immediately.
Yeah, there's a great scene after they determine that this is going to happen where Kirk is like, how dare you?
And Admiral Cartwright, I guess, one of the admirals on the table, he was like, it's going to be awful. The Klingons will just be, treated like savage animals of the galaxy.
They'll be the trash, the second-rate trash of the galaxy. Yeah, because that's what they're not worried about the Klingons being violent or anything. No. They're just being shitheads. We're
gonna treat them like shit.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's very strange, and that admiral who we find out later, spoiler alert, is in on it.
Yep.
He is saying. Yeah, he's just like, look, the Klingons, he wants to attack the Klingons and break their spirit even more, and then we can dictate the terms. And it's like, that's not how you run a Federation society, bro. How did you get so high up in the Federation thinking crazy shit like that?
Feels like a dictatorship kind of deal.
Exactly. And that's one of those things where it's like, this happens in these Star Trek movies. It happens in the J.J. Abrams ones, too. There's a higher level up person in the the that's really a racist piece of shit, or like a fascist, like that one guy from the Nazi planet. Yeah.
I just figured, their book. If you take out all the bad stuff.
Yeah, I thought maybe they would just be efficient. And so Kirk is tasked with, he has a really tense back and forth with Spock, and then the Enterprise crew is going to go basically escort this Chancellor Gorkon's ship from the neutral zone to Federation, to Earth, for this meeting with the Federation where they're going to pound out this treaty and bring them into the Federation, right? And so it's really tense because Kirk, obviously, he blames them for the death of my boy, and before they even have the Klingons on the ship, Kirk is recording a personal log that's like, my boy. And so we should talk about when Kirk gets onto the bridge of the Enterprise. It's nice that they finally have like a full crew again. And
it isn't like this wacky situation or anything.
Or they're in a Klingon ship or some shit. And it's interesting because it's this is going to be their last mission. And one of the reasons that Spock wanted to send Kirk is because the Klingons hate him so much. And
this would be a good lesson for everyone.
Spock even says there's an old Vulcan proverb, only Nixon could go to China, because that's what they say about Nixon going to China. See, this movie is so much smarter and better than 5.
Yeah, just right off the bat. Bullshit. I was turning to Adam and I was like, there's already tension. There's already a plot. There's like reasons for why people have to do things.
Yep.
It's not just out of nowhere.
And we're like coming up to a close of an era of these movies, and they're going to retire the Enterprise.
Yeah, they were going to retire in 3 months.
We find out that Kim Cattrall is playing a Vulcan who is...
Great actress.
Yep. And she graduated at the top. She plays Lieutenant Valeris. And she graduated at the top of her class in the academy. She's the first Vulcan to do so at Starfleet.
Oh, nice.
Spock vouched for her to get her into Starfleet. He's like her mentor. And we just got to this scene where they're drinking tea together. And he explains to her that he's grooming her, not like that right-wing nerd. He's grooming her to be his replacement on the Enterprise. And she's like, I could never replace you. I could only succeed you.
He's like, okay.
They drink this tea. It looks like they're filling a vape. He's got a weird blue vape bong kind of situation.
But he's speaking in like, what is it called?
Vulcan?
Yeah, just like big mystery words like, you'll cover me and this and that. Just like he's saying, and this will be my last mission. He feels like he's ready to retire.
Yeah, he says, this will be my last mission aboard the Enterprise as a crew member.
Yes.
And also, when he gets introduced...
or something?
When he gets introduced to Gorkon, they introduce him as captain, and it's like, there's not 2 captains on this ship. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Because Spock's been brokering this deal with Gorkon, and then the Klingons show up, and they meet him, and it's tense. But Gorkon, who is played by none other than the dude who played one of the 3 people looking over the desert planet. What's his name?
Oh, yeah, from the 5th movie.
Yes, from 5. They were like, look, David Warner.
David Warner.
David, we loved working with you. We're sorry that you were in that piece of shit.
Why don't we make up for it with this one?
Also, this fucking shit is like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes or something.
It's a solid movie.
Yeah. So we meet the Klingons and Gorkon and Chang, his
crew, his posse.
I just feel like in 1991 there was a lot of descriptions in this script that I would find less than interesting.
Oh yeah,
the word Oriental probably popped up more than twice. Because
we got to give him that ethnic feel.
Yeah,
that's a lot of desk table reads.
Chang is played by Christopher Plummer. He's got an eye patch and he knows Shakespeare. Basically talks in Shakespeare shit, right? And then he compliments Kirk. He's like, "Hey, you're a good warrior. You're great at killing people." And Kirk's like, "I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not." And the crony that's with Chang is like, "Yeah, it's a great compliment."
Yeah.
So what happens next, Al? They go to some sort of dinner.
The dinner scene is actually one of my favorite scenes too, because it comes up with a whole nother, crux of like, well, doesn't your life matter more than Starfleet, Kirk? Like, would you just leave Starfleet?
Well, thank you for saying that, Al.
Kind of like that. It makes this whole universe feel bigger than just the Federation and all that crap. And it's like, they also bring up the Klingons with, what is it? What was that girl's name?
The Klingon lady?
Yeah, the Klingon lady.
The Klingon, Gorkon's daughter.
Yeah. She's arguing about like rights, and she's like, yeah, the way you just say it, human rights and inalienable and this and that.
Yeah,
and it's
human
like,
rights.
It's so weird to think about.
It is.
How
She's
people
right.
are still kicking into that whole awkward phase of, meshing with the Klingons and figuring out like, what is right and wrong for everyone at the table.
She plays Azit Burr.
That's
Gorkon's daughter.
And then what was the other line? And also, though, how they just express their differences. Like, one of the Klingons is just eating really sloppily. But the other one's eating really nice.
And that's after.
And then they always talk about Shakespeare, and he's like, "Oh, you haven't heard Shakespeare till you heard it in the Klingon tongue, my man." And it's weird. It's cool to see him kick it.
They're both sides are clearly pretty racist. Scotty throws some olive branches out. There's good interactions between the cast.
It's one of my favorite scenes. Yeah.
But when when Chekhov says, "We believe that every planet has inalienable human rights."
Yeah, human rights.
And she goes, inalienable. Inalien human rights. Listen to yourself, man. The fucking term is racist,
hell, bro.
And it's true. It's like, they don't have human rights. They just have fucking rights, dude.
No, and also too, it's always a kickback or a callback to how like we both kind of chuckle and laugh when, especially in Who Mourns for Adonis and stuff, when Kirk's like, "There's only one God we know," and it's like, man, you've seen so much space shit at this point, and we're talking about like thousands of years after us leaving Earth. Like, you saw Jack the Ripper go through your Enterprise ship, you gotta think something else is gonna be out there.
Your spaceship was possessed by Jack the fucking Ripper,
like,
dude.
You would think something bigger is going on. Especially after 5 too. But anyways,
so it's tense.
It kind of I like how it kind of modernizes it, but in a smoother way. It's not as in your face. So,
and it's you see the differences between the cultures, and then it's interesting because after they're done, they're like, the bridge crew is like, "Oh man, did you see the way they were eating or whatever?" Yeah. And Spock goes, "Hey, I don't think that our actions would win us any fucking diplomatic awards, you dipshits."
Yeah,
like Spock that whole time was just embarrassed, like you could tell. Also Valeris, Kim Cattrall, recommended that they bust out the Romulan ale, so she suggested people start getting drunk.
True.
And then this is when shit pops off. Kirk is hungover and he goes and records a personal log where he's like, he references Emily Post, which was like a columnist that wrote about manners. Yeah. Emily Post, like, was
literature references.
It was a syndicated column where they wrote about manners and shit.
Huh, okay.
And he goes, "Our behavior wasn't Emily Post. I got to sleep this off." And then Spock calls him to the bridge, and Spock's like, "There's like some sort of energy buildup in the ship somewhere." And then...
Oh, I just realized what that was.
Yeah, dog.
That we watched this again.
And then Kirk is like... It's actually a great sequence. Kirk is basically just like... I don't know, I don't know what this energy could be. And he's like gonna get a cup of coffee or something. And then the fucking, it looks like the Enterprise shoots a torpedo on the view screen and it hits the Klingons.
Yeah, it's
and
like
then they do it again and chaos reigns. And they're like, Scotty, did we fire? And Scotty says, no, we still have a full complement of torpedoes.
Yeah. And it's impossible. I see the missiles right here.
Yeah, where we did a visual confirmation. We have them all. Mm-hmm. And then they fucking and then
they shoot another one.
But yes, it disables the ship. That knocks out the gravity. And then on the Klingon ship, two bipeds in Starfleet spacesuits beam on with fucking gravity boots. And it's a great sequence. I remember this from when I saw this when I was a kid, because they shoot the people and it makes their zero gravity blood comes out.
Yeah, it's like,
so there's a lot of really gory shots of like a dude gets his arm shot off.
Yeah, it's really fucked.
It's pretty good. It's good stuff, and it's 1991 CG blood bubbles.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's something we should mention. All the ship effects, all the special effects in this.
The ships are amazing.
They're so much better than 5.
Yeah, I mean, already
Unreal.
from the first like shockwave of the Praxis exploding, it's like, oh, it's already kicking off to be a better movie.
And then,
dun, dun, dun.
The Klingon ship turns around and is going to fight back and fire on the Enterprise because they've restored their gravity. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also the Chancellor got shot by the people in Starfleet
they got
uniforms.
fucked.
Yeah, they're dying. And then Kirk, instead of putting up the Enterprise's shields, he surrenders to the Klingons.
Right, because he's like, look, there's not something that many ways we're going to show them,
There's something going on. We got this is like a mission of peace. And what the fuck is happening, you know? Because now he says to them, after they get hailed, he says, we haven't fired. And then Spock says, the computer says we have. Now the computer is saying they have fired, even they have a full complement of fucking torpedoes. Kirk and Bones beam over to the Chancellor's ship, and
it's so fucked.
He's dying, and he's like, Kirk,
dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? You come over after you shoot us?
Yeah, that's what Chang says.
Yeah.
And Chang also was nowhere to be found during the assault, when everybody's floating around getting shot. And then Bones tries to save the Chancellor. The Chancellor looks at Kirk and says, don't let it end like this, and he dies.
Yeah, the Chancellor says something pretty honorable.
Yep.
And he's like, finish what I started.
Yeah, he's like, don't let it end like this. And then Bones can't save him. And then she becomes the new Chancellor right then and there, the daughter. Yep. And then...
They're like, well, you're next.
Kirk and Bones get arrested.
Because they were on the ship.
Because they were there. And then...
Pretty much. Like,
because
there's no reason why...
Well, because
someone had to be blamed.
Kirk is the captain.
Well, yeah,
it would make sense that he gets arrested, and we find out that they're trying to frame Bones for that captain for the Chancellor's death. They say he's incompetent at trial. So we have a great scene where we see Kurtwood Smith as the white-haired Fu Manchu mustachioed, ridged forehead guy, president of the Federation. And basically, some of the Klingon ambassador and folks are here, and they're all having a real heated yelling match about what the fuck's going on. And then the new Chancellor comes on, the lady, who says, hey, look, I don't want my father's mission to go unfulfilled. I want to have the meeting.
We're going through with it.
We're going through with the peace talks. It's going to be at a secret place to both of us. Oh, and also, we're not going to release Kirk and Bones. We're going to try them in our fucking system. And Kurtwood Smith, it seems like he doesn't want to do that at first. And then he goes, no, this president will not be seen as easy on these types of things. And he says, fine, you can try them. And also, in the beginning of that conversation, Kurtwood Smith's character goes, is there no way, Sarek, that we can expedite these prisoners? And he meant extradite. And then later she says, we will not let the prisoners be extradited. And I just imagine Kurtwood Smith's character going, shit, I said expedite earlier. And he looks at his assistant and he's like, you let me say the wrong fucking thing. Didn't tell me nothing.
What's the matter with you?
Yeah, who is that plays? What is that? I don't want to call her the lady or the new chancellor.
The way they listen to the translators are so funny too.
As it Burr. So then we get the trial where Bones and Kirk have these translators up to their ears.
They're like little walkie-talkies.
And they blame Christopher Plummer's Chang character is basically like, "Are you not responsible for the actions of your ship, Kirk?" He goes through it. Were they
not the missiles that came from your ship?
Were they not Starfleet officers? And one of the big reveals here is that the lawyer, the person defending Kirk and Bones, is Worf.
Oh,
he's a lawyer. Uh-huh. Worf is representing them, and keeps objecting because Christopher Plummer is leading the whole thing. He's like, they were 2 Starfleet officers, and Worf was like, couldn't they just have been wearing Starfleet uniforms? And he's like, So basically, it's a kangaroo court. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Kirk and Bones get sentenced. They get sentenced to hard labor for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, well, since we couldn't figure this out, we do need help at our labor camp.
Yeah, well, they get sent to they're found guilty, and they get sent to a place that's oft referenced in the Star Trek stuff that we watch, Cinta Pente. What's it called? And also he calls Kirk out, like, haven't you disobeyed orders before? Basically, he calls Kirk out. Oh, and we should mention, they have Kirk's personal log where he says, I can never trust the Klingons. I'll never forgive them for the death of my boy.
Yeah, and they probably have, like, other people witnesses.
Do you remember that?
Hearing Kirk being a jerk.
Do you remember tell our listeners out there about Kirk's son being killed.
Oh, that he got killed by Klingons, right?
Yep, on the Genesis planet. Remember, he was killed by burnt. Doc Brown.
That's right,
and that's
right. Mm-hmm. And then also the baby Spock growing up was on Genesis.
Gross. Let's see, Gorkon.
Teenage Spock.
I am just looking for Rura Pente is the prison planet. The trial's bullshit. They're found guilty, and then Spock and the Enterprise crew say, "Oh, we're having difficulties. We can't report back to Starfleet yet because they are going to go break Bones and Kirk out of Rura Pente."
Yeah,
and Rura Pente, the prison planet, the Klingon prison planet, is like a blizzard. It's Hoth, basically,
and you go underground. And then anybody's like, the whole shtick is like, even if you do escape, you'll just freeze out here. So there's no point.
Yeah, before they bring him down, the guard is like, there's no force field. Yeah. There's no guards out here. There's no guard dogs out here. If you get out here, you fucking die, bro.
It's like Mr. Sir from Holes. Right. You see any guard towers? It's just desert for miles.
I've never seen Holes.
Never seen Holes?
No.
That movie's hilarious.
I've heard good things. Oh, and as a warning, they throw a prisoner that done bad out without a shirt.
That's right.
And then he's like, "Oh no, I'm freezing."
Don't
and
be
then
like this idiot.
Later they show him frozen when they're escaping.
I never tried to look for him when they escape.
Oh, also, when Kirk gets into Rura Pente, he's given a pipe to hit that will warm him up.
I guess.
They don't really explain that very much. And that's when he meets David Bowie's wife, Iman, playing Marta. We find out that Marta is a prisoner on this Klingon prison planet, and also she's a shapeshifter.
But we don't know that till later.
Yeah, we don't know that till later.
Dun, dun, dun.
So while Kirk is meeting her and getting seduced on the Enterprise, Valeris is helping Spock find...
They're trying to figure out this.
They're trying to find the space boots and the space suits of the killers.
The suits and the boots. He says, the killers, they couldn't have gone far. They got to be here on this ship.
Right. Oh, and at one point, Valeris, somebody's like, why wouldn't they just vaporize the boots? And she takes out, she goes, oh, like this? And she vaporizes a pot on the stove with her phaser. And also, why do they have a pot on the stove? That's weird.
No, and it's really strange to wow, it's funny that you point that out too. It's strange to go that far out of your way to make a point.
Yeah.
Like you're guilty.
Absolutely.
Like this? It's like, whoa, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You're really showing off, lady.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
Man, if I were to hide the boots, it's like, I don't know. They should have just let her like fucking put her foot in her mouth.
They do technically later.
Yeah, that's true.
So basically, Spock, they're trying to find this stuff, the evidence, and they're trying to find the assassins because they couldn't have beamed from. Because they also determined. Distance. They also determined that if the Enterprise didn't actually fire those torpedoes, what could have is a cloaked ship underneath them.
Yeah, and they're like, what's the last thing that shot us? Maybe a bird of prey. But then they're like, wait, it's got to decloak. And then they're like, well, it could cloak.
It reminds me of the meme, the Owen Wilson from Royal Tenenbaums when he's walking down the hallway and he's like, we all know Custer died at the Battle of Little Bighorn, but what this book presupposes is maybe he didn't. This is like, we all know that a bird of prey can't fire when cloaked. What Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, presupposes is maybe they can.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
but this time,
and so they are while they're doing that. Somebody who says Kirk has got to be deep in his plan to escape.
Oh, that's Spock.
Yeah, Spock says, if I know the captain, he's already deep in his plan to... Oh, I wanted to talk about this. So after the thing where she vaporizes the pot...
An alarm goes off and everyone's like, false alarm, false alarm.
Somebody fire a phaser? What the fuck's happening in there?
It's like five different people walk in.
Every crew member comes in. Did somebody fire a goddamn phaser? Scotty. So,
it's okay.
So Scotty comes in and he's like, are we firing phasers? And Spock's like, no, it's fine. And Spock goes, what's the status of the engines? And Scotty goes, there's nothing wrong with the darn things. They're in perfect shape. And Spock goes, look, if the engines are working, we have to report to space dock, and the killers will have an opportunity to dispose of the evidence. And Scotty's face changes immediately, and he goes, oh, it could take weeks, sir. That's
excellent, Scotty.
So that's something else I wanted to mention before we finish this episode. James Doohan, who plays Scotty, does such a fucking great job in this.
Dude, this compared to the fifth.
Yep. He needs a good director.
Exactly.
He's so good in actor. 4. Mm-hmm. When he's like, computer, hello, computer. A keyboard, how quaint.
Right.
A keyboard, how quaint. So then Spock turns to Scotty and says, if I know the captain, he's deep in his plan to escape. And it cuts to the captain getting punched in the face by a big blue, tall, monstrous alien that he's fighting with.
Yeah, right.
And
he's like, look. And Bones is like, you got him, Kirk. You got him. Just twist your arm like this.
And how
just lean that way.
How Kirk ends up defeating this person or this beast is he kicks their knees out and they fall to the ground, and then Iman
they turn bright blue too,
and bloody.
Yeah,
and Iman, David Bowie's wife, comes over and goes, and he goes, man, I'm glad that guy had knees, and she goes, not everybody keeps their genitals in the same place, Kirk. So he kicked this person in their knee balls.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It was very weird, but I like it.
And the alien's
very
like,
funny.
And like instead of turning like red or something, he just got bright blue.
Yep.
Just keeled over.
And then later she sneaks into their bunk. Weird. And she convinces Kirk that she can help him escape.
She's
and
like,
then
I can get you to the outside, but you need to get me off the planet.
And she kisses Kirk. She kisses Kirk in a way that disgusts Bones.
Yeah, Bones is like, what the fuck?
And he's like, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd rather go stand outside and be cold and smoke a cigarette. and the fucking, when she's kissing him, it's just so gross because she's so awkward. Beautiful and he's so old and gross. And
that's unnecessary.
And it's really just like she's pressing her face. They're not even kissing. She's just pressing her mouth against his mouth. It's mechanical. And so they're going to hatch a plan to escape.
Right. And it's like, oh, okay, that was quick. But, Kirk's a very, what is it called? Amicable guy. So it makes sense.
And then we find out that she is a shapeshifter. She shapeshifts into being a large male, and she's like, I have to be this large male because they won't let women down into the mines. And then she shapeshifts into a little girl to take her collar off, right?
Yeah.
But why wouldn't she just make her head real small?
Just do
Why would she turn into a little girl? I would make my head real small, take the thing off, and then make my head big again.
That's another 5 months of editing.
That would be badass. So she gets them out.
That would be cool, though.
They've got some rags and stuff stashed, And then she's got a lot of like, it seems like she's got a lot going on. Like she's got a beacon.
She was stupid prepared.
Yeah, she's got like a communicator of some sort.
Yeah.
She's got and then Bones is like, hey, don't tell me that's standard issue, prison issue, you know? Like, so they're escaping and they're waiting
Bones is like, what the fuck are we gonna do? We're outside, and Kirk's like, Spock touched my back when we were leaving for the trial, and he put a beacon on my shirt. We're fine. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, I'll just keep walking.
And at this point,
I was like, oh, nice.
We see what's going on the ship, and they're approaching Rurapente, and they get hailed by a Klingon ship, and Uhura has her great moment. And this is something we could take a second to talk about. So everybody in this movie gets their own like moment to really shine. Each actor gets their character really gets some great, like Scotty gets all the great Scotty
like
stuff that we've already talked about.
Something that attributes to like what they do.
Chekhov has his, well, first off, Chekhov gets to do science like a detective at one point, which is weird. But he also says he makes reference to Mother Russia at some point. Sulu's a captain, and Sulu has he's got some really great, the opening scene. Yeah, he's great in that. And also at the end, he's fucking awesome. And Kirk gets to do some like
schlocky Kirk
some
stuff.
Shatner Kirk jerks, and they each get their own little chunks. It's never like overwhelming, you know. It's never too much Shatner. And then we get to the scene where Nichelle Nichols, R.I.P., and the other bridge crew on the Enterprise are communicating with this Klingon ship, and they've got to like, she's got to like look up the Klingon words for
everybody
stuff.
Has like a textbook around her, and they're all flipping through it,
trying
like,
to find what to say.
Yeah,
and then they finally convince and at some point the Klingon guards are like, "Ha! Don't catch any bugs on Rurapente because it's fucking gross down there, dude." and they like look at each other on the bridge crew, and then they go laugh, and they go ha 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 ha. They all laugh like Klingons.
Fucking weird.
I love it, and that's when we get Captain Kirk mirror match.
Yeah, this part's hilarious.
They get to Kirk, Bones, and Iman's character Martia. She takes out a flare and starts a fire in this little outcropping of rocks, and Kirk's like, "Oh, is that a standard issue prison flare?"
Really, really prepared.
Yeah, and then like, we find out that she sold them out. She's gonna get let free if they fucking are dead or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So then she turns into Kirk because she's a shapeshifter, and this is where Shatner really shines. Something it reminded me of
himself
because he gets to be really wacky.
Yeah, exactly.
At one point, he's like, "I like it here," and it reminds me of Army of Darkness when Bruce Campbell fights himself as Bad Ash and Good Ash, and it's like it feels like Sam Raimi was influenced by this sequence, but I think they came out. Maybe Army of Darkness came out in 93. So, yeah, he would have been aware of this.
Yeah. Also, though, doesn't Kirk have his bad side in the original series, too?
Oh, yeah, the transporter clone and the alternate universe Kirk. Yeah, definitely. So there's a fight. Fun. So Kirk fights himself, and we find out that, and then the Klingon guards come down, right? And she kills the Klingon guards.
Yeah, and so then the Klingon guards start to come down, and they're about to, trap Kirk, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!"
Wait, one second. Let me stop for a second. She doesn't kill the Klingon guards.
No, she doesn't.
The Klingon guards approach Kirk and continue.
Yeah, and so then what happens is there's Kirk and then the mirror self, right? What was her name? Martia. And so then she goes, "I swear, get him. It's not me. It's him." And then Kirk really quickly goes, no, not me. It's him. And then they just immediately vaporize Martia. And that was like such a good leap of faith of luck.
But
a very convincing stance there.
So then at this point, yeah, absolutely.
And at this point, they're still playing on the fact that they're Martia, right? That Kirk is Martia, isn't he?
No.
Like they're playing onto it. Like to the
the Klingons are just going to kill him.
Right.
Yeah, the Klingons are just going to kill Kirk
right,
and Spock,
they're going to die
Kirk
anyways.
and Bones. Yeah. So this is where This is fucking hilarious. The Klingon guard guy goes, well, since I'm going to kill you anyway, I'm just going to tell you who's all in on this conspiracy. And then they start getting beamed up by the Enterprise. Kirk gets beamed onto the Enterprise. He's like, Spock, you son of a bitch.
He's like, no,
he was going to tell me what happened. And Chekhov is like, do you want to go back? And Bones goes, no.
It's cold as shit.
Well, yeah. Bones goes, hell no. And then Spock Kirk goes, I'm very cold. Kirk goes, I'm very cold.
Yeah, I guess they do find out that it's not the shapeshifter, huh? Because
they kill her. Yeah, they kill her.
Anyways.
And this is when Scotty finds the spacesuits that have the blood on them.
Klingon that's right. This is when, the third act just kicks off.
Right? Good.
Yeah, I realized.
Al understands structure.
Yes, here it is.
We're going to talk about the story circle later. Remember in 5 when Scotty just fucking bangs his head on that bulkhead and then he's captured because
actually
of
doing
it?
Something useful.
So stupid. Everybody's doing something useful. Chekhov's doing blood science, for Christ's sake. So then...
When did they go through all the shirts?
What?
When did they go through all the people's clothes? Is that when they're looking for the boot?
Yeah, that was when they were looking for the boots. And then...
that's how they bait them, right? Yeah.
So...
Go ahead.
They find the blood. And they find the uniforms, and then they find the dead bodies of the assassins. And there are these racist guys from earlier.
Yes.
So after the Klingons left the first time, these 2 ensigns or whatever were like, did you smell them? And one of them says, only the top of the line models can even talk. And that's when Valeris stops them and goes, don't you 2 have work? And they go, yes, sir. And she goes, then snap to it. And they leave. And then they're the assassins that are dead.
Dun, dun.
And this is where Kirk says something I put in my notes. He says, hey, that's the first rule of assassination. Kill the assassins. And I was like, isn't the first rule of assassinations assassinate? The first rule of assassination is assassinate the target. I feel like every other rule would be like rule 2 starting, or maybe a 1B.
Do you know what that made me immediately think of, though, is the whole sequence between... Palpatine and Padme in Star Wars, Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Palpatine tells Dooku, who tells Jango Fett, who tells another hitman, and then the hitman sends a droid, and the droid shoots in a slug, which is going to kill Padme. So that's like 6 degrees of separation. Yeah, whereas this one was like 3 or 4,
right? And something I forgot to mention
is like a higher rank to the Vulcan to those 2. But sorry, go ahead.
No, that's cool. I've been babbling. Earlier, Christian Slater is in this movie.
Oh, that's right.
And he's just an officer on Sulu's ship, and it's very strange because he's like in shadow. They never have like a good clean shot of him, and he must have had something. There must have been some other movie he was making around the time where he had to be in darkness. I don't know, but it was funny. So this is when
they bait him.
So they find these dead assassins, right? And then they put out a call over the ship, the ship Enterprise, that says, "Would these 2 people report to sickbay?" And it's the dead people, but the assassin wouldn't know that. And then we find out that it's Valeris, Spock's protege.
No, and don't they say we're going to interview them?
Yeah, we're going to interview these 2, and then
because they're suspiciously missing.
Yeah, they say that they're in sick bay.
Right.
They're
in sick bay.
How do they? Here, let's watch it. We got it right here. Hold on. This is what they say.
Because they have to trick them into thinking that they're still alive.
Yep. Oh, God damn it! Get off the thing.
Because the highlights over.
Oh yeah, code blue urgent. 1 second here. Oh yeah, they need statements will be taken at Munts. Court reporter to sick bay. Code blue urgent statements to be taken. Yeoman Burke and Samno report to sick bay. So this is interesting because then of course we find out that it's Valeris.
Dun, dun,
but
dun.
What did they fucking?
Valeris
what did she
great.
think was going to happen? She was going to go in there and assassinate them with the person interviewing them.
I don't know what that was about, and but especially like they played her hand, right? Like they're going to get statements,
and then it's Spock that's in the sickbay bed instead.
It's pretty badass too. He gets out like Nosferatu, and he's like, "Go ahead, shoot, do it. It's the logical thing to do, isn't it?"
And then he slaps the gun out of her hand.
He smacks it out of her hand. It's hilarious.
Dude.
I had to watch that a couple of times. Made me chuckle.
And then it cuts to her being smug as fuck on the bridge. Like, I didn't want the Klingons to be in the Federation. And my people are blocking your signals right now, motherfuckers. So good luck.
And he's like, also, you can't even try me for a crime because I didn't shoot. Go fuck yourself. And he's like...
And they just want her to name the people who were involved in the conspiracy. And she says, I don't remember their names. And Spock is like, I can make you remember, motherfucker. And then this is where it gets dicey.
Yeah.
He just force mind melds her. And it's like that really like non-consensual mind meld, even on the battlefield.
Exactly.
It's basically enhanced interrogation
and you can
on the
see
battlefield.
Everybody start to get more and more uncomfortable.
As she gets more
goes.
uncomfortable and he's saying the names. And he's saying the names of like, the guy from Starfleet, all these high-ranking Starfleet diplomats, the Romulan ambassador.
Yes.
And they ask how many ships there are, and there's only the one prototype. And then they say
the bird of prey.
And then the final question he's asking is, where is the peace treaty? And then he even double mind melds her. He hits her with both hands.
Yep.
And she's screaming.
6 points of contact.
And then she doesn't know. So she doesn't know where the thing is.
And he's like, oh, whoops, I might have overdone it, but...
Yeah, because it's a secret, because the president actually wanted to do it on Earth, but the Klingon chancellor was like, no, my dad was just killed because of one of your missions. Fuck that.
And also, didn't they say, let's make it a place secret to both of us?
Yep.
So that way it'd be neutral.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And everybody looks on in horror as Spock does this mind meld.
They're like, whoa.
Even Scotty, who's known to sexually harass a lady in the past,
God.
Is like, that's untoward Spock.
It's a little dicey.
And then Spock reaches out to Sulu, and Sulu tells him the location of the peace talks.
And he's like, oh, I don't think I'll make it there on time, but I mean, I guess I'll see you there. Sulu almost fucks his shit up on the way there.
Right? Yeah. And they're going to Camp Khitomer. So these are the Camp Khitomer Accords that are referenced a bunch of times in Star Trek in the future.
No, and then I think this is the part after this where Christian Slater comes up and Sulu's asleep, right?
I think they did that already. I wrote it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Christian Slater was earlier. It was when they first got the message for Sulu to go that they were going to Repente or whatever.
So anyways, Spock's like slumping in his place, just feeling bad.
Yeah, he feels terrible. His protege was an evil fucking mastermind.
Kirk's like, look, 2 is human. We'll be fine. We'll get through it. Could have been worse.
Yeah, exactly. So Sulu, the Excelsior, and the Enterprise are headed to where the peace talks are happening.
Yeah, it's all a big meetup.
And so it's just so funny because this is interesting because it's like there's these big spaceships and then there's this cloaked spaceship that's hunting them, and it's happening at the same moments as like these peace talks and these speeches and shit. It's like in a movie like in like a Clint Eastwood movie, where he's like he's the bodyguard of the president, a Secret Service guy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like that, like you're seeing the assassin setting up his gun and shit to assassinate people. Dude. And then Kirk and these ships are racing to stop it.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
Vantage Point. That movie's crazy.
It's
a little gimmicky, but it's like about this political shooting or assassination attempt. And the shtick is that there's like 7 different stories and they replay it 7 times from 7 different people's point of view.
Yeah, it's Rashomon. That's
kind of like Rashomon.
The Akira Kurosawa film Rashomon. That's where he invented that, and then it's like they do that in like some westerns and shit too.
Yeah, but it's all about them setting up and stuff. This trope is in a lot of movies though, where it's like the hero is racing to save the day while the assassin's on his way to do the assassinating, and he got his rally of his troops, with Sulu,
right. And so then we've got while the assassin is setting up at the peace talks, the cloaked Klingon ship starts attacking the Enterprise, and that's when Sulu actually gets there to save the day. Basically, he's the cavalry. He's the backup that comes in, right? Out. And so how do they take care of this Klingon ship? Because it's a cloaked ship that shoots. What do they do, Al?
Yeah, at that one point, they're shooting at both Sulu and Kirk, and Spock turns to him and he's like, well, it's got to disperse some gas, right, Captain? Oh, yeah, when they get shot, Spock sees like a bunch of gas come out or some, smoke come out of like a vent, and he's like, oh, yeah, gas. Like when an engine or when anything, kicks off any neurons or sparks anything, it's got to give off some gas.
Yeah, he says, I don't know what, he goes, we call it plasma.
Yeah, plasma, yeah.
I don't know what they call it, but it's supercharged.
It's got to be ionized gas. Ionized particles. And Uhura's like, oh, hey, we have all this equipment that just happened to look into gaseous anomalies. Why don't we use that?
And this is when
perfect.
This is when Spock turns to Bones and he says, would you like to help Scotty perform surgery on a torpedo?
Missile, yeah.
On a torpedo? And torpedo, he goes, yeah. I'd love to.
And then they both run off. Spock and Bones run off. They haven't had a lot of scenes together in this movie. That's why great. I like that part. And then they get ready.
That reminds me, there's a scene in Star Trek Into Darkness where they ask Bones to perform surgery on a torpedo where it's got the Khan's friend is inside the torpedo thing. We're going to talk about the J.J. Abrams Star Treks in the future.
Yeah.
Fucking good.
No, and they really lay it on thick, though, obviously, to the audience when Uhura's like, this thing's got to have a tailpipe, right?
Love it. Like, duh. Dude, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I was like, they got to explain it to everyone.
Yep.
But I guess that was a funny phrase.
They end up getting attacked a bunch by the cloaked ship. And then they eventually shoot the gas torpedo.
Yeah, and Kirk's like, how long?
There's a great sequence
this build.
There's a great sequence of the torpedo, like, seeking out the cloaked ship.
Yeah.
And Chang goes, to be or not to be, as the torpedo's honing in. And then it hits them and they explode. And I fucking love it because when the Klingon ship explodes, right, it cuts to Sulu's bridge, and he goes, lock in on that explosion and fire. And then it cuts to Kirk, who's saying, fire, and they're like, saying, fire.
Yeah, it was given like, a little, what is it, pirates.
Yeah.
With their ships and shit and cannons.
Right,
That's
it was
what
very
it
naval,
felt like.
very naval battle-y. And then Kirk and the gang, they just beam down to the peace talks.
I was like, they beam 12 people down.
They
like,
just appear in a hallway. Yeah, there's no nothing to stop.
The assassin's already locked in.
There's nothing to stop beaming from happening at the peace. It's fucking ridiculous. And the assassin's already there.
It looks like it's in the back of like a Panera cafe.
Yes, that's where they land. That's where they beam down. They're like, all right, we're in a hallway. Great.
All right, let's go through this Panera.
And there's a great, so they bust in, make a lot of noise, and the admiral who's in on it, he goes, arrest these men, and you hear Spock off screen go, arrest yourself.
Arrest yourself, bitch.
Absolutely. Z-snap, baby. 2 snaps in a circle. And then you see the assassin is, because the admiral knows he's fucked when he sees that they have Valeris in cuffs because she talked or whatever, right?
Yes.
Or got mind melded. But at this point, the assassin has got Valeris in his sights.
Yeah.
And then Scotty bursts in, shoots the guy with a phaser to stun him, and the dude falls out a window and smashes his head open and bleeds everywhere. Scotty's just like, oh, I killed him. Oh, God, shit. I love it. It's so funny because he stuns him, but then the guy dies anyway.
They're like, ooh. And then more people start to beam in, and Cartwright, the guy that was in on it,
as we say,
tries to escape, and Sulu's like, stop right there.
And that's when Kirk and the Chancellor have this beautiful moment where he's like,
what we really learn in the end is,
yep, she says, I think that you have restored my father's legacy. And he goes, and you have restored my son's. And as everybody applauds, and peace will be had throughout the galaxy.
Yep. Very nice. Everyone's happy.
And then we get a very sweet scene at the end where Sulu sees Kirk off for their final voyage.
Yeah, so he's like, it was dope to see you in action, sir.
See you in action one last time, Captain. And hello, Captain. Oh my. And then Starfleet buzzes Uhura and she goes, Captain, Starfleet's saying we got to go mothballed and decommissioned like right now today. And he goes, and then Spock says, if I were fully human, my response would be, go to hell. which is a reference. It's from Star Trek 4.
Ah,
when
yes.
he says, "Go to hell." Yeah, dude, fucking great. And then Kirk goes, they go, "Where to, Captain?" And he goes, "The second star to the right and straight on till morning," which is a Peter Pan reference.
Yeah, I was like,
and it's like, he'll never grow up. He's always going to be this Starfleet captain. It's a great little end. And it's nice that they end on a reference to something that's not Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Because of all Chang's fucking Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he really Shakespeared us out.
His last couple of lines were Shakespeare. As he died, he was quoting Shakespeare.
That's such a great... this movie's so fucking good, dude.
It's miles, light years ahead of the
5
fifth.
for sure. And I think that it's probably... I like it almost as much as 4, having watched it 3 times now.
I was going to say, it's grown on me too.
And that's it. And then we get like our last shot of what would end up being the last shot of the bridge crew. I think they've done this on previous movies too.
Walter Koenig.
Yeah, they have everybody sign.
That's cool. That's kind of like what I saw in the Avengers stuff.
At the end, for Endgame, they had everybody sign their credits. And that's so one couple things I want to mention.
Shatner.
First off, I thought this movie fucking ripped, right?
Oh yeah.
Good stuff. Now,
yeah, go ahead.
One thing that really bummed me out is they kept saying, well, if there's peace between the Klingons and Starfleet, that means there would be no need for Starfleet, right? Because and they even say in that initial meeting with the higher ups in the Enterprise crew, one of them goes, well, I'm sure our scientific expeditions would still be useful, but blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, you should be happy to be done with war and have everybody be able to go do science. Like, you're a post-scarcity society. It's very un-Starfleet how they act.
Yeah.
And one thing that I love about these movies and the new J.J. Abrams movies is there's always some higher up in Starfleet that's like a piece of shit, racist, or xenophobe, or isolationist, or something. Yeah. Right. And the guy who Peter Weller plays that in Into Darkness. Peter Weller is so fucking good, and he's so good in that movie. He's like, Kirk, you'll never gonna run. Yeah, he's so great. But so it's dumb that so many members of Starfleet were like, what would happen if we weren't at war with the Klingons? Well, first off, you go to war with the Romulans, and then you eventually go to the war with the Dominion, and you go to the war with the Jem'Hadar,
and then the Borg,
and you go to the war with the Borg. Don't worry, you'll get your fucking war, dog. You'll get your fucking war, dog.
Yeah, it was really strange. That's a good point. And like we said, it's making the universe bigger. I think that's why I appreciated this movie a lot more. Whereas the 5th one was pretty narrow-minded of like, we're just going to go to this one place and get this one thing done. And it felt like
all happens
just very
on a
singular.
Busted Enterprise.
Yeah, and it's stretched out and it makes the movie feel longer. Whereas in this one, there's more shit going on. Everybody has their own part to contribute. It's more than just like Kirk going against the rules.
Hold on.
What's going on outside?
It's an ice cream truck that goes through my neighbor, or an ice cream cart, or it's either the ice cream cart or the churros. There's a churro guy. I fucking love Los Angeles, dude. I could go outside right now and get a churro right in front of my apartment. One other thing I want to mention is at one point Spock tells a fib to Starfleet. And Valeris calls him on it and says, Vulcans can't lie. And he goes, not a lie, a choice. And then she throws that back in his face when she's found out. And she says, I don't remember their names. And he goes, a lie. And she goes, a choice. And we know Spock does not like having his own words thrown back in his face.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm bringing up, too, is that the writing's way more clever. There's a lot more callbacks, right? And I like how we were complaining about that on the last one. But it's like, the thing is with the callbacks is that these are well placed. They make sense of the plot. They move it forward. Nothing feels like it strags, And Scotty, I love Scotty's part in this. And there's really good scenes. The dinner scene, the trial scene, the mirror match fight, the prison escape. We got also... What was it?
Lots of space battle with a cloaked ship.
Mm-hmm. The bird of prey I love. And then I really like the beginning, though, when like Spock's like, or Kirk and Spock are fighting because Kirk just doesn't like
where
this is all
Klingons.
going. Yeah. And it's just that tension that he breaks out of. It's nice.
I dug it.
And it's mostly in space. It's mostly on the Enterprise.
And also, one of the very funny moments was when they finally find the boots in the locker of a crew member. And Valeris and Spock are confronting this crew member. And they look, and Scott Chekhov is like, if the shoe fits, like that Russian story, Cinderella, if the shoe fits. And then they show the crew member's feet, and he's got like wild, huge alien feet that like are all like spread out. And she's like, oh, I picked the wrong locker. And the guest cast, or the supporting cast, is so good. Kim Cattrall fucking knocks it out as the Vulcan.
Yeah, seriously.
Kurtwood Smith with the weird wispy white hair. All the Klingons are great. Christopher Plummer is Chang. I thought it was awesome. I think this movie really holds up. I watched it 3 times in the last 2 weeks because we kept rescheduling, and I wanted to watch it again.
Also, too, you were saying just the movie alone, it got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is it one of the higher ones?
Let's look at Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I would say maybe the second one's probably the highest rated, though, isn't it? That seems to be a fan favorite. But this one just felt like a lot more of a mature take on it compared to the fifth. This felt like an elongated episode still to me, but
so Star
it was more
Trek,
interesting.
Hold on, more results, more movies.
More results. Oh, okay.
Star Trek
with Star Trek. So
Star Trek Wrath of Khan.
It's just with Star Trek plots, it's kind of hard to make it crazy action all the time with like an overarching goal, you know.
They did
without it feeling super epic. But anyways, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that. So Star Trek II Wrath of Khan is 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. Pretty good. And let's look up Star Trek V, The Turd Country, The Turd Frontier. Star Trek V. 21%.
Oof.
And then we get Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, 83%.
Wow.
So that's like not as good as Khan, but pretty good. Pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's a nice little tail end, though, of the whole thing.
And Generations is a 48%. That makes me sad.
Yeah, that's because it's a turn.
I liked Generations.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it was so-so.
I saw it on...
I feel like 6 was so good to just end it on that, but of course they couldn't stop.
So here's why Generations has a special place in my heart, other than the fact that it's the first movie with the Picard cast.
Right.
When I was in probably middle school at the time, we had like an activity day at school. Mm-hmm. And one of the activities you could choose to do is to go out to the movie theater and watch one of 2 movies. And one of the movies that just happened to be playing at our 2-screen theater that week was Star Trek Generations. So I saw Star Trek Generations like in the middle of the day in middle school. Dang. And I fucking loved it. And Ian McDonald, hold on here. Malcolm McDowell is in it, and he's really good. Yeah. Anyway, I like Generations more, but so that's Star Trek 6. Do you have any other thoughts on it?
No, not really. I mean, it was just a very solid movie to come up after 5. I think to re-rank them now, I still really like 2, and then I really like 1, and then obviously the 5th one's the lowest, though.
Yep, I think it's like 4. It's like Wrath of Khan and 4. It's like Wrath of Khan and 4 fighting it out for 1 and 2, and then this. Yeah. And then 3, and then
such a refreshing breath of air after fucking 5.
Right. And so we were thinking because we don't want to start season 3 yet. So we were talking before this. We were like, what can we do? We don't really want to watch Generations and First Contact because that gets into the Next Generation crew. But so what I suggested is we'll watch the J.J. Abrams movies. Mm-hmm. So next week we will have watched Star Trek 2009, which I saw on opening weekend in Amsterdam when I was there traveling by myself. I walked from the hostel to the theater all baked and watched the new, and it had Dutch subtitles, and it was fucking great.
Yeah, that movie was really exciting.
Nice theater too in Amsterdam. Real nice.
Recommendations? Anything you can think of?
The new Invincible season is great. Bad Batch is really good. We're just I'm watching this show Black Clover, this anime that's really good. It's kind of like that Familia Myth, but not as boob heavy, but very good. Lots of good characters. And what else were we going to watch tonight? Oh, that X-Men 97. I'm curious to check that out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What about you? Any new music?
Music-wise? No, not... I mean, there is a lot that's going to come out eventually. There's been... I've been liking Rez, R-E-S-Z-Z. She does, like, really slowish mid-tempo stuff, but, like, this new album was full of collaborations, too. Oh, and then I need to show you someone else, too. This guy's name's Porter Robinson, but his new single's, like, pop punk. And it's crazy to see that, like, when he initially started, when I was in high school, I guess, I was 2011, 2010s. He started as, like, his electronic producer, and it's this whole progression from, like, just making simple beats and crazy electronic music to, like, crazy stereotypical, like, you know, Urban Outfitters, like a big arena music. And then he just dialed it down to just super soft pop. And then now he's like cramming it out with pop punk. It's really weird.
It's wild when those artists do,
it's nice to see them do whatever they want.
Yeah. Especially if they're good at it. It's like,
exactly.
It's like the music production version of King Giz and the Lizard Wizard, you know,
but not as quick, obviously, but it's just, they're happy, you know, exactly. That's what matters. Because I guess he was like super depressed at one point and all that. And he said like, oh, lyrics are hard. Like it took me a long time to write even good lyrics and this and that. And it's like, who knows, you know, he was just, what's it called? The theme of the song's kind of weird too. Cause he's talking about how the cheerleader effect of people really being into his music and like fangirling over it. But then he's like kind of creeped out. But then at the same time, he kind of appreciates it, and he like, cause that's his career. Like that's, you know, it's a weird like relationship that they have, I guess. And one of my friends was joking that like, oh, he had too much screen time, you know, like he needs to get outside.
Touch grass, as they say, the chodes. All right. So next week, check out all that music science that Al drops on you. Watch some cartoons. Watch some Star Trek.
Yes.
We'll be back next week to discuss J.J. Abrams' Star Trek 2009. Thanks for listening. Do everything in the bumper.
Peace.
Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hirt. Theme song by Al Hirt. Recorded by Adam. Mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials, and you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking worlds.